The following is a parody for Video Game Dougson. Alright, let's do this. World of Warcraft is a video game spanning over 8 expansions and a massive multiplayer RPG version of the original Warcraft series, which is pretty much a StarCraft. The planet of Azeroth, also known as a Titan Egg, got corrupted by 4 Void Lord offspring called Old Gods in order to create a Void Titan to destroy all life. But first, they fought the Elemental Lords that were already there, who were then enslaved. The Titans noticed this and threw one into space, which hurt the egg, so they created mini-Titans to imprison them instead, known as Titan Forge. Years later, Titan Sargeras created the Burning Legion to kill everything because he's still scared of Void Titans, and the army destroyed the planet of Argus just because, causing refugees to flee to the planet of Draenor. The Legion follows them, enslaves the Orcs of Draenor, and they both run through a portal to Azeroth. The Orcs fight back for their freedom thanks to Khadgar the Wizard giving Thrall self-awareness, free their now green-skinned people, and find out that the humans already living on Azeroth are huge dicks. They travel to the continent opposite of Eastern Kingdoms, then create a city, a group for everyone that hates humans as well, known as the Horde, and try their best to live in peace. Meanwhile, another wizard named Ner'zhul, who was in charge of the undead as a Lich King thanks to the Legion, corrupted the minds of wizard Kel'Thuzad, who was killed by Prince Arthas of Lordaeron, and then later Arthas, as he killed his father, destroyed Lordaeron, and resurrected Kel'Thuzad at the Great Sunwell of the High Elves after killing most of their people. The High Elves, who were in a group with the humans called the Alliance, said "fuck y'all" after the human prince killed their people, and they became the Blood Elves that joined the Horde. Then Draenei came out of hiding to join the Alliance for pretty much the same reason. There are also undead, no longer under Arthas' control, known as the Forsaken, that joined the Horde too. Now the real story starts. As a member of the Alliance or Horde, it's your duty to do the menial tasks to show how shitty your kingdom actually is. At the Alliance, you kill architects turned pirate after they don't get paid for building the capital city of Stormwind. As the Horde, you kill shape-shifting snake lovers or something. There's no main story, it's just about leveling up and learning your selected combat type, known as a class, while going through the state-based mini-stories you probably didn't care about after the first expansion came out, known as... Instead of fighting the Legion as you venture through the Dark Portal, you face random demons here and there, ogres, fish creatures called Naga, and the edgelord Illidan Stormrage, who was a child who had his love stolen by his brother, and his one destiny stolen by the Legion when he joined them for power. Realizing his mistake, Illidan got wings after finding Gul'dan's skull, flew to the Dark Portal, made friends with a fish lady and a high elf that loved Arthas' old girlfriend, and took control of Outlet, which is now the new name for Draenor. While plotting against the Legion, Illidan fought Arthas because he was told to and totally blew ass. Then a group of players kill him for no reason. After defeating Illidan, the Lich King returns to infect the Horde and Alliance main cities. An undead alchemist finds the cure, and the two factions travel to Northern to fight him, the Horde being led into battle by Garrosh Hellscream, Garrosh's uncorrupted son and wielder of the legendary Gore Howl, and the Alliance being led by King Varian Wrynn, ex-gladiator and wielder of the legendary Charlemagne. Khadgar from earlier also joins the fight by teleporting the entire city of Dalaran to Northrend, and High Lord Tyrion Fordring, the new wielder of the legendary holy weapon Ashbringer, also joins the fight because his weapon is +10 against undead. The groups kill undead spiders, undead soldiers, and undead giants till they finally fight Arthas, which is actually his plan all along so he could have the strongest players on his side, but Tyrion prays and saves the day somehow. Oh, and Ulduar, the prison of Yogg-Saron, is also there, but no one really cares. New continents appear from nowhere on the 2 main continents as Deathwing seeks revenge for getting his ass kicked by Malfurion Stormrage, who is also Illidan's brother. Deathwing and his friends kill a big-ass dragon, steal his friend's powers with a golden dinner plate of power, according to Nixium, and then loses to Malfurion for some reason. Anyway, he's pissed, and returns to mess up the world so quests can be different because he hated vanilla, which ends up causing the humans to be racist toward goblins, which in turn causes them to join the Horde. Also, Malfurion is a shapeshifter person too, so because of a forbidden werewolf form that ended up becoming a dangerous contagion, the Worgen are created and players can be even more of a furry in-game than just shapeshifting into a cat. Anyway, Deathwing's friends come back to fight him, and Thrall from earlier shows up to use the plate against him. Pretty lame, I know, I prefer the ending where I punch him in the face. Do you like Kung Fu Panda? Do I have to? So it turns out pandas live on an island surrounded by mist, or that's how Blizzard explained adding new continents when players have seen that part of the map as a blank spot since forever. Not that that's something new. Anyway, in that magical land, negative emotions manifest, and in a game called World of Warcraft, we are already in for bad news. We learn about peace, tranquility, and putting flags into poop. It all leads into a fight against the Mogu, a different Titan Forged race which were cursed with flesh so they could die, even though seemingly all Mogus could die. So we defeat the Thunder King as the Zandalari soldiers. Then Garrosh, who's become the new leader of the Horde and put under constant stress and bullying from Thrall, shows the Pandaren that bottling up your emotions is bad and what causes all the negativity in the land. He gets insulted about his father, puts a heart into a fountain, and says the Horde sucks, which Alliance players already knew. The Horde let the Alliance storm their city to kill Garrosh, who just dissed them, and he gets imprisoned to be put on trial, but he magically gets teleported to a Draenor from another dimension where he stops his father from being corrupted in the first place. Happily ever after. A bloodthirsty thrall goes through the new red dark portal to kill his once best friend Gromosh because he has new friends known as the warlords of the Iron Horde, and he's jealous. Seriously, he could have just destroyed the portal. He settles for just killing Garrosh. Anyway, while they're there, the Alliance helps stop the Draenei from being slaughtered like last time, and Valen dies even though he doesn't. Ner'zhul is one of the warlords, though how he became the Lich King is not shown because fuck you.
You think you do, but you don't.
Players wait a few months until the whole expansion is released, where it is learned that the alternate dimension Gul'dan, the one who helped corrupt his fellow orcs and indirectly gave Illidan his powers, is more of a threat than Gromosh, and summons a giant demon named Archimonde to kill everyone. Archimonde, being killed for the second time in game, tells Gul'dan he's a dick, and Gromosh becomes our new best friend somehow. Also, Ogre Island was almost a thing, but it was replaced with a shitty raid instead. Oh, and Garrison sucked ass. With the first WoW expansion cinematic to actually suck, the undead and human leaders charge into yet another new continent known as the Broken Isles to destroy the Legion's final foothold on Azeroth, whose opening scenario ended up killing off King Varian Wrynn as he nobly sacrificed himself to save every last one of the soldiers and players that fought with him on the Broken Shore, occurring because the Horde abandoned the Alliance during the fight because a single troll died that no one knew.
If your Horde fails to uphold honor, as Garrosh did, we will end you.
Now put in charge of the opposing factions are the game's least likable characters, being the leader of the undead that abandoned Varian, and Varian's peace-mongering son that treats everyone who loved his father like dirt. Anyway, highborn elves that are sworn to the Legion are rebelled against, even though the rebels get so good at rebelling that they ended up rebelling against me and joined the Horde. And the Alliance gets the help of Void Elves, who no one really wanted on our team. There were some others too, but they didn't really matter. So Gul'dan is defeated again, and Illidan is revived for plot convenience. Turns out Illidan knew he'd be killed by idiots for no reason, and trained elite soldiers called Demon Hunters so players could have a class that doesn't suck for once, even though they knew they'd just get nerfed later anyway. Illidan's plan was to open up a portal to the Legion homeworld after knowing that Garrosh would open a portal to an alternate dimension, thus releasing another Gul'dan that would ultimately be the tool to release him and get the two factions on his side so they can all go and stop him for real, after using a crystal he stole in the Demon Hunter class opening storyline, instead of just telling everyone he was a nice guy from the start and not having to go through so many fucking inconsistencies. What do you expect from a company that leaves so many story element things unchecked so they can say, oh, we planned that all along later? And notice how I'm telling you the beginning and end of each expansion? That's because the gameplay portion really doesn't matter. And now, you begin playing it so it can finally end and achievements and mounts can be collected since there's no real story to follow along as you play. The new leaders of both factions slap fight and banter over the burning of millions of innocent people who were killed as a massive treehouse known as Tradissel was set ablaze by the nefarious Horde leader, who escapes by blowing up her own city with the Alliance leader giving a classic, oh man, to the hundreds of recently risen soldiers he's failed. Jaina Proudmoore, who used to be a little pussy like the new King Anduin Wrynn, realized she must reach out to her neighboring ship-filled city of Boralis for help after powerful troll prisoners escape from Stormwind Prison, even though she's got the main fleet captain killed, who also ends up being her father. While she gets disowned by her mother, plays some rich people bullshit games, and eventually finds time to forgive herself like the Alliance is a faction for rich pieces of shit, the Horde allied themselves with the Zandalari trolls, who no longer want to kill them for some reason. Troll leadership gets questioned, a powerful monster is released, and the Troll King makes a deal with death so that his people will live, making all the quests the Horde did for nothing.
Stand! I've been sent here to bring you this. This sword can completely drain his mana.
Dad, how did you get that?
No time! Just take it! Here! How do you hand something from one player to another?
The worst expansion ending ever, saved only by the cinematic of Sarfang, a good character, finally saving the Horde from the new leader's tyranny and finally getting to be with his son in the afterlife. If only the same thing would happen to Anduin. The future holds the now more infamous undead lady being edgy and boring as usual, being able to open a new world, but not being able to sound at all intimidating as she squeals like some kind of large bird. Wait, I didn't mention how Bolvar became the next Lich King? It's probably because it didn't matter at all.